Hey everyone, welcome back to your favorite pirate crew. Today we're going to see the similarities between the Yami Yami Nomi and the Gomu Gomu Nomi. If you would like to see more about One Piece in our channel, please leave your thumbs up and subscribe to join our pirate crew. And before I begin, I need to briefly explain about the Akuma Nomi in order to get to the point. So let's get to the point. Yami Yami Nomi is a Logia type Akuma Nomi, which allows the user to create and control darkness at will, making the user a human with the ability to control and manipulate darkness. It was eaten by Marshal D. Tech, also known as Blackbeard, who stole it from Commander Thoch at Whitebeard's 4th Pirate Division. This fruit is considered unique, even for a Logia type, and its power is said to be the most evil. The darkness is usually demonstrated to be a black smoke-like substance spreading outward from the user's body. The darkness is a void that devours and crushes everything, and because of this darkness, the user can absorb physical matter and attacks of any kind by sucking them into the darkness. The user can also use the ability to pull the opponent towards him, regardless of his current state, similar to a black hole. The user who can absorb things into a vortex seems to not completely compress and annihilate what is sucked in, like a real black hole would, but rather create some sort of space where things are stored. Blackbeard was able to suck an entire city into it, and when he finally regurgitated it, everything expelled was reduced to pieces, but not completely destroyed. The guards of the Impel Down that Blackbeard had sucked in also survived, although they were severely injured and in a state of shock. The most unique and frightening advantage of the fruit is that the user also has the ability to nullify the powers of other Akuma Nomi, simply by touching the user and draining their ability. All types of Akuma Nomi, be it a Paramecia, Zoan, or Logia, are affected by this. Although Logias are the most affected since they can't become intangible by transforming into their respective element. This nullification really seems absolute, as if Akuma users can't use their powers completely. This was demonstrated when Luffy's rubber powers were cancelled when Blackbeard touched him. Unlike the effect of a body entering water or sea rock, which only inhibits a person from controlling their powers, this is not an effect on the body. It was shown earlier when Luffy was trapped underwater that his neck could still be stretched above the surface of the water, and that Buzoshoku Haki simply nullifies the defensive aspects of an Akuma Nomi, such as intangibility and the malleability of rubber. When Blackbeard took the Gura Gura Nomi from Whitebeard's corpse by an unknown method, he claimed that with the power of darkness that reduces things to nothing, combined with the power of earthquakes that brings destruction to all, he was truly invincible and the strongest man in the world. Furthermore, in the anime, Blackbeard claimed that Yami Yami Nomi is the greatest power among Akuma Nomi. The main strength of this particular fruit is the darkness that the user turns into, that swallows everything. It is also its greatest weakness. Since the darkness also absorbs attacks, the user of the fruit is still vulnerable to attacks, which don't pass through the darkness. If he can't absorb an attack in time, the user ends up absorbing all the damage, and even stronger than normal. Furthermore, while the ability to nullify abilities of Akuma Nomi is very powerful, the user must actually touch and remain in contact with the victim to contain the effects and remain constant, meaning that if the victim is somehow separated from physical contact, their powers will return. However, it seems that this power can be overcome in certain situations. Whitebeard somehow managed to activate his powers, even with his hand on Blackbeard's neck, somehow ignoring the nullification of his Akuma Nomi powers through physical contact. It is possible that Whitebeard used his Buzoshoku Haki to nullify the effects, but it is also possible that Blackbeard actually had to touch the other user, rather than the user touching him, similar to how Crocodile has to use his right hand to absorb liquid. However, it seems that touching bare skin directly is not necessary, as Blackbeard was able to nullify Luffy's powers in Impel Down by touching his clothes. In general, suggesting that the hand must touch the person or the material on the person for it to work. Considering the aforementioned ability to attract due to their powers, if the opponent is strong enough to break their grip without the help of their Akuma no Mi, they will regain their respective powers. Other than that, the user is also affected by the pattern of weaknesses of an Akuma no Mi. Gomu Gomu no Mi is an Akuma no Mi of the Paramecia type, which allows the user to have a body made entirely of rubber, making the user a rubber human. The main form of Gomu Gomu no Mi presented by the user is the ability to stretch his body like rubber, even if he is unconscious, as shown in the scene where Nojiko stretches and pulls his head out of the water in Arlong Park. This ability makes him immune to neutralizing hand-to-hand conflict, bullets, and even cannon fire, and can be enhanced with the inclusion of Uzoshoku Haki and the creativity of its user. On and off the battlefield, the fruit in question proves to be one of the most formidable and versatile Paramecia-ranked Akuma no Mis. The user's rubber body allows him to get out alive from falls from faraway heights, which would kill an ordinary human being. His ability to stretch and twist like rubber not only makes him immune to injury, but allows him to move like one, giving him an advantage both in and out of battle. The great power of stretching also allows Luffy to completely increase the range that would otherwise be considered short, making it a very strong attack. Now, being a medium or long distance attack, the user's stretched limb can be used to store potentialized energy, like an elongated spring, increasing the stretching speed of the arm, increasing its power greatly, and in conjunction with Haki, the power increases even more. The rubber is electrically insulated, which makes the user immune from electrical attacks, and is capable of hitting an electrical Logia user without Haki. Training them, Luffy has discovered extraordinary and unexpected ways of raising his ability on the battlefield, such as stretching his blood vessels to increase the speed of his blood flow, making him faster and more powerful. However, this form of power depletes his body energy at an advanced rate. Its user also has the ability to inflate his bones, thus increasing the volume of his body and potentiating his attack. However, even with all the advantages of the fruit, its user can be hurt by cuts, fist attacks, and also non-physical attacks such as Magu Magu no Mi and Hai Hai no Mi. Another great risk Luffy runs is being vulnerable to attacks when his limbs are stretched, as shown in the beginning of the book. However, the Mugiwara ended up adapting his fighting style so that this risk was minimized. Demonstrating this was when Buggy tried to take advantage of the weakness in question. The user was also shown using his stretching powers to inhale a huge amount of air, to exhale a strong gust of wind, using this to ward off the poisonous vapor of Boa Marigold's saliva and Magillian's Doku Doku no Mi. The elastic properties of Gomu Gomu no Mi are also shown to be able to withstand strong pressure, shown near Triton Island in Luffy's fight with Hody Jones. Gomu Gomu no Mi and Yami Yami no Mi look very similar to each other, almost as if they are related. I believe the true name/powers of Gomu Gomu no Mi to be related to the sun. Just like Sabo inherit Ace's will, Luffy did the same with Jobo's will, Luffy's new form/wake being the sun god, and the perfect time to show this is during the Fire Festival. Just as the lanterns light up the sky, Luffy's new form will radiate an even stronger light that will be visible to all the Wano Kuni, signaling the arrival of the dawn. In the same way that darkness and light exist, I believe that by the end of One Piece, there will be a final meeting of Blackbeard and Luffy, thus crossing darkness and light. Something that was shown with the crossing of flames, with the cloak of darkness, just as it was in Ace's battle with Blackbeard. That's it, my Mugiwara. I really hope you enjoyed the video. And if you have any suggestions for a video, don't forget to comment below, because I'll be reading all of them, as I always do. Also, don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and be sure to subscribe and ring that bell so you don't miss any content from your